Hey you guys, it's me SpongeBob number 1 fan 2003 here, and as you can see I'm here with this super duper awesome SpongeBob SquarePants Cinemanga book, and this one is called Who's Hungry? And I actually just got this book right here for my birthday about 2 weeks ago, and this is a very super duper awesome book, and I cannot wait to show it to you guys. Okay, so as you can see right here on the front cover, there's a picture of SpongeBob holding a Krabby Patty on a plate. And he's like screaming, he's like yelling, "Who's hungry?" And then right there is Plankton. And yeah, this is obviously a Cinemanga book, and it's from Tokyo Pop. Okay, and then here's the spine. And here's the back. So right here is a super adorable picture of Spongy Bobby. And right there says, "From the hit show on Nickelodeon." Okay, and then right here says "Who's hungry?" and here's like a description about what stories are contained in here and stuff. Okay, so let's get started looking at the pages that are in this book. I cannot wait. Okay, so right here is like this nice pretty green color, and there's SpongeBob SquarePants, "Who's hungry?" And then there's a super cute little picture of SpongeBob sitting on a huge like pile of Krabby Patties, and he's holding one right there, and he says Krabby Patty right there. Okay, and then right here is like this super long description about something, and this book was made in 2006. Okay, and right here is a picture of Plankton. And then right here like shows all of the main SpongeBob characters, like there's SpongeBob, Patrick, Gary, Plankton, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs. Okay, and here's sort of, I guess, the contents, and then here's "Welcome to the Chum Bucket." Okay. So, Mr. Krabs is actually going to play a card game with Plankton, and, you know, they, like, get money from the game and stuff. And Mr. Krabs actually never loses, but unfortunately, the next day Mr. Krabs comes to work crying, and unfortunately Mr. Krabs lost, and Mr. Krabs loses SpongeBob, so SpongeBob doesn't work at the Krusty Krab anymore, and Squidward is very happy, and then there's Plankton, and he's coming to take SpongeBob to the Chum Bucket, and SpongeBob says that he doesn't want to work for Plankton, and he wants to work for Mr. Krabs, and Mr. Krabs cries and hugs SpongeBob, and he says that he's really sorry, and Plankton actually like throws SpongeBob off of Mr. Krabs, and he locks SpongeBob in a little cage right there. Oh, poor baby. And yeah, the cage flies over to the Chum Bucket, and yeah, SpongeBob is very super spooked out by everything. He's like getting scared and stuff, and yeah, there's like this calendar right here, and yeah, Plankton tells SpongeBob to get to work, otherwise he'll transfer his brain to a robot. Okay. And yeah, SpongeBob is not like used to the Chum Bucket kitchen, and he sings a small little song, and he starts to cry, and Karen tells Plankton to sort of Karen tells Plankton to sort of like be really sweet to SpongeBob, so Plankton comes to SpongeBob, and he tells him that he's going to make him feel at home. So he brings SpongeBob a grill, and SpongeBob wants it to be at a good place, but yeah, Plankton moves it right back to the spot where it was at before, and then SpongeBob says that that's perfect, and Plankton is not very happy about that. So he surprises SpongeBob with an exact replica of the Krusty Krab kitchen, and SpongeBob is very happy with it. But unfortunately, he starts to cry again as he thinks about Mr. Krabs, and Plankton sort of spoils SpongeBob by giving him these really fancy shoes and a bubble bath with ice cream. That would sound really good to do. And then he's reading SpongeBob a book, and then there's cute little SpongeBob where they're drooling in his sleep, and Plankton's about ready to hit SpongeBob, and then SpongeBob wakes up, and Plankton tells him nicely to, he asks him nicely to work on a Krabby Patty, And SpongeBob sort of like gives Plankton a bratty attitude, and then Plankton says, "That's it, you lost your brain privileges." So he puts the brain into the robot, and the robot doesn't even want to work on a Krabby Patty. So and Plankton decides to give SpongeBob back to Mr. Krabs, and Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob to go work on a Krabby Patty, but SpongeBob says that he doesn't feel like it and he'll do it later. Then he decides to work on a Krabby Patty because Mr. Krabs gives him a very stern look. And that's pretty much all for Welcome to the Chum Bucket. And here's Patty Hype. So yeah, there hasn't been a customer in the Krusty Krab for days. So and someone shows up and Mr. Krabs gets very happy, and then the customer leaves, and so and SpongeBob keeps on like trying to tell Mr. Krabs that he has an idea, but Mr. Krabs doesn't listen. So Mr. Krabs actually buries himself, and everyone goes to the show shack because the talking dog is singing. So yeah, Mr. Krabs really wants to have an idea. Then SpongeBob sings as an angel, and he says, "Mr. Krabs, I have an idea." So SpongeBob actually has a green Krabby Patty, and yeah, Mr. Krabs thinks that the Krabby Patty is spoiled, and then SpongeBob says that it's a pretty patty, and they're available in 6 designer colors, and yeah, and apparently Mr. Krabs and Squidward laugh at SpongeBob's idea, and that brings SpongeBob into tears, as you can see, poor baby. And yeah, Mr. Krabs and Squidward keep on making fun of SpongeBob's pretty patties, and then SpongeBob tells Patrick about his idea, and Patrick really likes the idea. So yeah, they actually have a little pretty patty stand, and no one even shows up. So and then someone finally comes over to the stand, and they make fun of the Krabby Patty since it's green. And SpongeBob starts to cry again, and he says, "What am I gonna do with all of these?" And then the guy says that purple is his favorite color, and he tries it, and he really likes it. So, and Mr. Krabs is watching a sad movie, and apparently SpongeBob's pretty patties go viral on the news. And yeah, SpongeBob has lots of customers, and Mr. Krabs comes, and he thinks that SpongeBob forgot about the Krusty Krab. But of course SpongeBob didn't, because he loves the Krusty Krab. And yeah, Mr. Krabs actually gives him the restaurant, and SpongeBob is very super happy. And and apparently the next day everyone hates Pretty Patties because they literally made that guy's face purple, and then that guy's tongue glows in the dark, and then Mr. Krabs runs away, but SpongeBob is too distracted by the squeaky pickles. Okay, and then dying for pie. Okay, so Squidward goes to the Krusty Krab, and he really wants to go home and stuff because he really hates his job. And yeah, Mr. Krabs really wants the employees to give each other rewards. So SpongeBob makes a sweater out of his eyelashes for Squidward, and yeah, apparently it's very itchy on Squidward, and then as SpongeBob is crying, he makes him a sweater made out of tears. So Squidward goes out to get SpongeBob a little present, and he gets him a sort of, I guess, pie bomb, like, you know, sold by those pirates. And yeah, he brings it to Mr. Krabs, and yeah, so the pie bomb literally explodes the Krusty Krab, and yeah, he doesn't want SpongeBob to die because, like, yeah, since that's a bomb, then SpongeBob's gonna die if he eats it, since it'll go to his lower intestines, and then boom. So, and SpongeBob eats the pie, and yeah, at that moment, Squidward and Mr. Krabs realize that SpongeBob is dead meat. So, yeah, so SpongeBob is nearly done for. So so Squidward actually wants to make it the best day SpongeBob has ever had. So, yeah, there's like a part 2 to his gift, and yeah, he decides to take SpongeBob out. And yeah, they like do like a lot of fun things together and stuff. And then it's nearly the end of the day, and Squidward builds a wall in between them. That way, when SpongeBob explodes, you know, it doesn't hit Squidward either. So Squidward starts to cry as he counts down, and then SpongeBob explodes. But it actually wasn't SpongeBob that exploded. It was actually some bubble bombs that SpongeBob made. And SpongeBob actually made like a book and stuff about what they're going to do next. And yeah, so Squidward admits to SpongeBob that the pie was a bomb. And yeah, but SpongeBob actually saved the pie because he wanted to eat it with Squidward. And then when he accidentally drops the pie on Squidward, he literally explodes. So yep. So Squidward got exploded really bad. And then and then here's the last story called Clams. Okay. So a fish orders some coral bits, and he gives Squidward some money, and yeah, that was actually Mr. Krabs' $1 millionth earned, and he's very super happy. So oh my gosh, never look at that again. All right. And yeah, and then Mr. Krabs kicks everyone out because he wants to be alone with his $1 millionth. And yeah, he actually awards Squidward and SpongeBob. So yeah, and their award is a clam, I guess, boat trip thing. So yeah, and SpongeBob's like trying to fish, but he keeps on like yanking stuff. He yanks off Squidward's shirt, and then, oh gosh, then he yanks off Squidward's nose. Ow! So yeah, and then SpongeBob accidentally yanks off Mr. Krabs' $1 million. Look at his little tiny boat right there. So yeah, Mr. Krabs' dollar is out at sea, and there's some music coming out. And it's the 4/4 string, also not to in D minor. So so yeah, apparently when SpongeBob gets the dollar back, the giant blue lip clam eats it, and Mr. Krabs is super devastated because he's never going to get his $1 millionth back. So yeah, and then Squidward and SpongeBob decide to try to help him and stuff, and yeah, it's been many days since they tried to look for the dollar, but they can't get it back. So yeah, and it's been days, so they decide to give Mr. Krabs just a normal dollar, and then yeah, it's been crumbled up and torn slightly and then kissed with lipstick. So, and then Mr. Krabs throws away all of the food. Oh my gosh, how can you survive without food? And yeah, so SpongeBob and Squidward try to escape, but Mr. Krabs catches them and he ties them up so they can't escape. And yeah, so they feel really bad for him, and they decide, and Mr. Krabs decides to, like, you know, feed the clam SpongeBob and Squidward or something. Like, yeah, they're live bait. So yeah, and then the clam comes and it's about ready to eat SpongeBob and Squidward. Then Mr. Krabs gets his $1 million back since he sort of jumped into the clam, and then it eats Mr. Krabs, and then you know, he comes back, and yeah, his whole entire body is gone. It's just his head and his one claw. So yeah, Mr. Krabs got his $1 millionth back, and he's very happy about it. Okay, and that's pretty much the end of the book and stuff. And then here's like an advertisement for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie Cinemanga. I love that SpongeBob pic, it's so cool. And then there's SpongeBob with his ripped pants. And yeah, SpongeBob's got his own Cinemanga. Okay, then there's the Fairly Odd Parents and Rugrats all grown up, nothing too special. Some other Cinemangas that you can get, boo boo boo. And yep. Okay. So that's pretty much all for the SpongeBob SquarePants Who's Hungry Cinemanga book. I absolutely adore this book. I'm very happy with it. I love the stories that are in it. It's really, really awesome. I really like all 4 of them. They're really, really cool. I've got to get some more SpongeBob Cinemanga books sometime. Maybe for Christmas. But yeah, it's actually pretty much all for this awesome SpongeBob SquarePants Who's Hungry Cinemanga book. And yep, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. So yep, goodbye everybody, have a great day, and peace out. Who's hungry?